One Piece chapter 1011. Now this chapter I think was good for the most part, at least till the end, in which I think this will be a very controversial chapter just because of the events that happened with Big Mom towards the end of the chapter. Now I'm not too favorable in terms of where this is going because it could lead to things that we've seen prior in this arc that was kind of not very appealing to the reader, but I'm going to hold judgment because we don't know where this could lead to. So for the time being, I'm just going to wait and see how things play out and see where Oda takes this. We always knew that Big Mom's amnesia was always a thing that could play a role as see fit, but the question was more of when it was going to take place. But in this case, it doesn't seem to be amnesia, but more so of Big Mom's memories getting jumbled up from the amnesia, because she's not in the state of paranoia anymore. She's in her regular state, but has somehow formed new memories from her amnesia, specifically from the events of Udon. Again, I'm going to wait to see how this plays out before jumping to conclusion. And again, I'll talk more about why I don't want this to happen towards the end of the video, or at least where I think it's heading towards. But let's start from the beginning. Now the chapter consists mainly of 3 sections. We had Luffy and Kaido in the beginning, a few glimpses here and there with Kid and Killer, and then we had the Big Mom stuff towards the end. But let's start with Luffy and Kaido. Now for the most part, nothing really much is going on here. We got a couple of panels of Luffy and Kaido just going at it. Not much dialogue, but Kaido acknowledging Luffy liking the extremities of battle. It's absolutely insane that Luffy is fighting a Yonko in his hybrid form to a standstill. I mean, Luffy's growth this arc has just been on another level, and I definitely think it's setting a precedence as to what's to come. If Luffy is getting this strong now, we can only imagine how much stronger he's gonna get. And it kind of goes back to the scene of Kaido wondering how high Luffy's ceiling is going to be. At this point, it might be above people mentioned in that scene, so above Roger and Whitebeard, because Luffy supposedly has to surpass Roger in order to achieve his goal in finding the One Piece. So it kind of makes sense that he would be stronger than Roger as well. But we can clearly see here that Luffy is getting some mastery of using this form of conquerors. As the battle gets more intense, the stronger he becomes. But so far, Luffy is still in base form, which is crazy because Kaido is supposedly in his best form, but yet Luffy is still on equal terms. Now, we have to remember that Luffy hasn't used Gear 3rd or 4th yet. I'm not even sure if he's even used Gear 2nd. We don't know. But this tells me 2 things. Kaido most likely has another form that we don't know about yet, most likely some sort of awakening. I also think that Kaido has a different transformation that relates more to his lineage of the Oni or the demon tribe, whatever it is. And this new form would prompt Luffy to use Gear 4th and Gear 3rd if possible, right? Now, we have to remember that there is a time limit on Gear 4th, so that's something Luffy has to think about before using. And I think that's the reason why he's still in base form, because he doesn't want to go all out yet, because he wants to wear down Kaido a little bit more and also attain some more control over his conquerors, because that seems to be what's happening here. But overall, I'm definitely impressed with Luffy's growth so far because it is massive, right? It is massive, and I cannot wait to see where this leads to. Now we come to see Law take Zoro and Zeus back downstairs with the Shambos, and I think for the most part Law is just going to mainly deter both Yonkos from coming together. And since he's coming back downstairs, I could see him engaging in battle against one of the commanders, whether it be Queen or King. We see that he took Zeus along with him as well, again, which will prevent Big Mom from having any sort of mobility as a fighter. But Zeus being down here also sets up the idea of Nami potentially getting Zeus back again, because that's something I think will happen eventually. But apart from that, it's really hard to see what Law's role is moving forward, but I would say that I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, moving on to Kid and Killer side of things along with Big Mom, as a lot of people speculated, Big Mom seems to have created a new lightning homie, which she calls Hera, again, which ties to Greek mythology, being that of the sister of Zeus and also his wife. Kind of weird. She proceeds to strike Killer and Kid, and that causes a massive explosion on the side of the skull, and that leads Killer and Kid back into the castle, Big Mom included as well. And I think her making a new Thunder homie here kind of sets in stone the idea of Nami permanently taking Zeus. Zeus for the most part has been a thorn for Big Mom, so I could see her discarding him permanently now, since she somewhat has a new Thunder homie. Now, Big Mom being in the castle is problematic, but also good for the alliance given that she is separated from Kaido, but also the fact that Kid might have a greater environmental advantage now, because I feel like he was limited on the rooftop as he had to bring a lot of metals with him. But now that he's in the castle, I think this is very favorable for Kid. Now, interestingly enough, they also encounter Hawkins, who was absent for many chapters now, and he engages in a conversation conversation with them, telling them that Apu sold him out and he only followed a path that led to his survival. And it seems that Hawkins is still playing on the side of Kaido, and it makes a lot of sense because taking down 2 Yonkos just seems a bit too impossible right now. And given what his fortune says, he's not willing to take any risk unless the probabilities favor him. So I can definitely understand where Hawkins is coming from, even though the odds are probably going to switch towards the Alliance winning. Now Killer tells Kid to head on without him while he handles Hawkins. Now Hawkins tells him that his likelihood of death is 92%. Again, we're seeing that the probabilities of characters dying in this arc are in the 90%, and it honestly shows the risk involved in all of this, and it makes sense as to why he's avoiding joining the Alliance, because he doesn't want to be on that part of the spectrum or having that potential of dying, right? The odds are simply not in his favor, and because of that, he chooses to stay with Kaido. Now from what it looks like, Big Mom and Kid seems to be turning into a 1v1 just like I expected, just like with Luffy and Kaido. And again, Kid has the environmental advantage here, so this will most likely make him stronger for this battle. So I'm looking forward to what happens with Kid and Big Mom and the castle, because that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to play out. Now we finally move on to Nami and Usopp's side of things, in which they are still being chased by Page 1 and OT. We see that Tama's goal is to reach the life stage in order to control the gifters that have been fed the Kibidankos into allies. We know that Speed is feeding the other gifters the Dangos, which in return makes them allies. We also get a confirmation that Otama's abilities does not work on actual zone level for users, which we kind of saw coming. So that throws the Otama controlling Kaido theory into the bin, right? Now as they try to escape from Page 1, who is unrelentless in his chase, they encounter Big Mom on the way. Now even though she angrily notices Usopp and Nami, Otama's presence there sort of overrides Big Mom's identity or personality, and Prometheus here states that Big Mom from time to time enters this mother mode when she's around kids under 10, which is very interesting because this is the first time we're hearing about that. And again, it might be a playback to her past. That could be the influence here. And what's very fascinating about this is that Big Mom is aware of her amnesia, but I think what's happening here is that the memories she had during the amnesia is passing on to her actual identity, so her memories are getting jumbled up, and because of that, she's having this change of tone with Tama to the point that she's willing to override her alliance with Kaido to some degree. It's almost like the personality she had as a kid, and obviously that's playing into the favor of the alliance here. Now this leads her to attack Page 1, which most likely was a one-shot because we see that she used this new level of conquerors that we're seeing with Kaido and Luffy, and it makes a lot of sense that she has it. She's one of the top tiers of the verse. It makes a lot of sense. The main issue right now would be Big Mom's role, or Big Mom playing a role that she played back in Udon, in which she might help the Straw Hats with their goals moving forward. And the reason I'm not too favorable for it is because I want the Straw Hats to beat Page 1 and OT by themselves. I feel like they should be at the level to be able to do that. Granted, we're talking about the weakest Straw Hats here, but I think that even applies even more so because we want the weakest to become even stronger. I feel like they should get some development here as well. I think this was a good chance because we're heading towards endgame really soon. So Big Mom being here could prevent growth for both Nami and Usopp if she deals with all the enemies that Tama tells her to deal with. So that would be kind of bad, but again, we need to see where Oda is taking this. Hopefully it's not them using her to help the alliance further their goal, but again, I'm just going to wait because something interesting could come out of this. Knowing Oda, he always breaks a lot of ankles, so we'll see how things play out. But overall, this was a very good chapter. The ending was kind of iffy and a bit controversial, I think, in the community at least, but everything beforehand was pretty alright. Now we are on break for next week. Next week is Golden Week, so that sucks, but that is pretty much it for this video, guys. Comment out below what you guys think. I would like to see what you guys think about this chapter because I think it's gonna spur some conversation in the community. I would appreciate it if you dropped a like on this video and subscribe for more One Piece content on this channel. It is Pharaoh, and I will see you folks later. Peace.